Hey, what is up, Instagram? I hope everybody is having a great day. So if you guys can see from the title there, we're going to be doing an interview today with Kamikaze Beats the King, and so really excited to be able to get that started here. Booyah. Hi, Joe. Thanks so much for tapping in. Okay, there he is.
Good. I'm sharing it to everybody right now.
There you are. What's happening, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Sharing this thing to every single person. I don't care if they block me for all the shares I've been sending them cash, but I don't care. Deal with it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Got to be able
It's like
to let everybody
not.
know, hey, what we doing
Yeah.
today?
Yeah. I mean, sheesh. I'm not gonna be losing sleep if they block me. I can
Right?
get
Yep.
more followers.
I'm popping
If you
in
got like
some
50
people right now as well.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day. Just in a general way, but like I said, if you guys can see from the title of the video, we are going to be doing an interview with Kamikaze Beats the King, one of the producers that I am working with in regards to a new and upcoming mixtape that I'm going to be putting together, but also just in a general way, I had met Kamikaze more closer to like the beginning of the year. So we've only known each other for, a few months, but really excited to be able to do a little bit of a deep dive in regards to this, interview today and get a little bit more of a, inside look into the mind of a producer. Because a few weeks ago, we had actually, Kamikaze had done an interview. Hey, Slick Terrace, thank you so much for tapping in. But just in a general way, he had done an interview with me about a month ago or so, and we went over a bunch of different questions. So really
Mm-hmm.
excited to be able to be here with him today. Exactly. Yep.
I'm like,
The shoe is on the other foot.
oh
Absolutely.
yeah, literally.
All right, so let's just get it started off. Let's get started with the first question,
I'm ready. Let's
and
do
just make it a simple, easy one. How about you go and introduce yourself and let people know who you
it.
are and what it is
Yes,
you're
sir.
doing?
Yes, sir. Well, what's up, everybody? It's Kamikaze Beats the King. I'm a producer straight out of Kentucky. Uh, Basically, yeah, I've been making music ever since like I don't know 7. I started making music when I was 7, but that's a dirt. We'll get into that later, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm just an 18-year-old producer up in here making music,
nice.
making music.
Hey, Natasha, thank you so much for tapping in. Hey, everybody that's tapping in, thank you so much for joining us today. So again, if you guys just missed that, Kamikaze Beats the King just did a little bit of an introduction on himself. So now we're just going to kind of be doing a spitfire through the rest of these questions. So let's start out again with something a little bit easy. Let's start, getting a little bit deeper into the mind of a producer.
For sure.
So
Let's do it.
with your name, Kamikaze Beats the King.
Mhm.
Yo, AJ, how you doing? Thank you so much for tapping
What's
in.
up, AJ?
But with your name, Kamikaze Beats the King, how did you end up coming up with that?
A funny thing is, it actually came out with 2 ways. Like the first time I ignored the sign, like oh, it's probably something. Second time I was like, all right, I guess my name should be Kamikaze. First time was I was listening to a track it was on the radio by Lil Mosey called Kamikaze, and people have always told me my beats are kind of like all over, like they're crazy, like they're really good, but they're crazy, like like they're crazy good. And it's just like a bomb, almost like just drop the bomb straight out of and so it's like, and he said Kamikaze, we all strapped. I'm like, that might be a good name, because at the time I was looking for a producer name, because I just went by my name Isaiah. So it's like I didn't have a producer tag at the time, nothing. Then maybe a month later, I heard another old track. I was just had a playlist going of Eminem songs, and his album Kamikaze with the plane was on, and his song got I'm a kamikaze crashing into everything. I'm like, that is me, because of my ADHD. I'm kind of like a kamikaze pilot going through everything. So it's like I wanted it because I wanted it to sound modern, but not too like little this or little that, or
Yeah,
this on the beat, prod by this guy, London on something like that. So I was like, you know what? Kamikaze Beats the King.
yeah,
Because I consider myself a king, because like, feel me, like I like to be treated like royalty. So it's like, you feel me? So it's like,
yeah,
it just kind of like, that second time I was like, you know what? Second time I heard a song go by Kamikaze and the beat was kind of similar to my stuff, so let me just call myself that. And that's how Kamikaze was born, basically. And I was probably like maybe 16, 15 around that time.
Okay.
And then when I was 17, I made my first producer tag.
Nice. Okay, very cool. All right, so then so then I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, you know, going over your first introduction, but just give us a little bit of your background, just how you kind of got into, you know, wanting to do maybe focus more on the producing side as opposed to the, because I know that you can also, you know, rap to a small extent as well. So I mean, what kind of made you want to focus on more of the producing piece?
Well, I was always into music at 7 years old. Like the first ever hip hop song I ever listened to was now it was not really. It was Amish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic, and I've always loved the beat. I was like, and I've always been a fan of like old classic rock, Stevie Wonder, and I knew that was a Stevie Wonder song. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I see what they did there with that little sample there. I bet I could do something like that. I didn't have anything. I didn't have that at the time. I just had my computer, like an old Dell big laptop, not even a laptop, one of those desktop computers, and so touchscreen. So I was listening to that, and then I heard Gangsta's Paradise, which was, of course, before that ever came out, but it's like, I was late to listen to it. I was like, all right, I see what they did with that. And I was like, okay, so they parodied that, still making their own music through that. And then I got more into hip hop, Eminem, Dr. Dre. Then when I heard Dr. Dre stuff, I found he was a producer. I'm like, I could do something like that. And then when I hit 7 years old, I had my computer, and I had MPC Beats, which I still do now. And I made my first track on there. It was like a lo-fi vibe type thing. It was insane. And I didn't take it seriously then. And then when I hit maybe 16, 15, something like that, then I was like, okay, I really am getting into making music. And that's when I bought my pride and joy, my Akai MIDI controller, this thing.
Yeah.
Don't know what that was, people. Sorry about that. There you go. So I bought that at around 17, 16, something like that. And I didn't even read the manuals on that. I just plugged it in and just loaded up instruments and just tinkered with the sounds until I found, okay, I know how to work this machine. Yeah. And then that's how that started. Yeah. That's how I learned I can make music with this thing. And then I crossed over to FL, and then started going and going and going and going. And
nice. Okay.
I haven't stopped since, you know?
Love it. Absolutely. No, that's a great answer. Okay, so then let's move on to the next one. So now when it comes to, you know, your family, you know, when it comes to your friends, like what type of you know, are they pretty supportive of the music that you're making and the different pieces?
Any melody I'm working on, I show my mom and dad. They're very supportive of it. Like, now I will be honest with you, like, they're not huge hip hop fans. Like, they grew up, they're boomer babies, so they weren't, and they're more country. They grew up on classic rock. They didn't have all this fancy stuff like I got. They didn't have phones, computers. So it's like, see, they're not really in touch, but they're not saying, oh no, you can't do that. What are you thinking? You're stupid. No, they're not like that. But like when I say I want to become like a producer, they say that like they're not like, I would say they're not encouraging me, because they are encouraging me, but it's like they want me to do another, like, use producing as a side job. Like, I've always been into science too, so they think I should become like a scientist with producing on the side, which honestly, because not many people got famous just by producing. Like Jay-Z didn't. He went back to college before he dropped his first album at 26. So like, I do need that. So it's like with that in hand, it's like, you know, like they're very supportive of me now though. Like, they're always been supportive. And my friends, I mean, I have a friend in our neighborhood. I kind of lost contact, like on purpose, lost contact with him. I didn't really care for him. He wasn't that much of a friend, more like an enemy in a way. But he produces now. And I will be honest with you, he actually is a little bit better than me, because like he knows a little bit more about me. I don't know how long he's been doing it for, but he's got a nice setup. I would say he's got his own serum pack going on. It worked for Cymatics, so I mean, it's a big accomplishment there. So it's like, but he was supportive of some of my music. Like, he liked some of it, but I have really great feedback with artists that you may or may not know. He's from Seattle. His name is RPG. He's a very good artist. He really likes some of my beats. I'm not sure if you know who that is though, but you look like him. Might be familiar with him because y'all look similar.
Maybe just a bit.
But yeah, I got Cleaner Ghost. I got the whole squad basically, and you can tell them all about that if you want, or I can. But yeah, basically, I got my whole squad backing me up on this. So yeah,
Yeah,
wish they could be
absolutely.
here
No, I like that.
now, but they're not. They're kind of being lazy right now.
Well, you know, I
So,
probably, I mean, you know, they maybe they're just in the middle of some stuff as well. But okay,
well,
so
drop
let
it
me
if
ask you
you're.
this. The next question up. So
Yeah.
let's take it back a little bit. Let's take it back to the first time. You know, let me know about your first experience with music, either like when you got done making your first beat, or like the first time you
Yeah,
were ever able to like
I could actually
match
give you a
up with
little
an
taste
artist
of
and be
it.
like, boom, now we hear it. You know, a
Yeah, I can
final
actually give
thing.
you a little taste of it. I have it up here. It was a low. I actually made that day. I had I just used all my keys on this computer. On MPC Beats, which is this is FL, but it was that one right there. It was like a basic blank thing, had stock sounds in there, and so what I did was probably off timed. I made 2 tracks that same day, and it's these two. It's a trap one and a lo-fi one. I'll give you all a quick taste of the lo-fi.
Okay.
And when I first heard the first note of the melody, I was like, "Ooh, I can make something out of this." Then I just started recording, stopping, backing it, recording, stopping, redoing that, like undoing what I just did because it sounded horrible. Keep going and going and going until it sounds like a hit. And this
Yeah.
is the very first one. I made the trap one second. This is the first one, very first track, and I'm proud of this one because it's for 7 years old, not knowing how to make music is pretty dang good. And you can hear that echoing feedback there,
Yeah.
right there, that little hi-hat feedback.
Yeah.
And then it goes on pretty far amount. Like that was my first track I ever probably made, and it took me about 3 hours at least. This one only took me a single, yeah, because it was more heavily done with this one. This one actually, most of it was like not done for me, but like the sounds were like once I had the sounds down, I was like it basically like it was like Legos. It basically built itself together because it's like it put it in step for the next instrument to go through. Like the second track only took me about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, or an hour and 30 minutes, something like that, because it was easy to do. Because see, and then I went a little bit terrible on the snaps, the little stats.
Yeah.
But and it's not mixed. I have none of these mixes. I was 7. I didn't know how to mix music.
Yeah.
I was just having fun with it, playing around with all the different sound effects that they could do. So that was basically my first taste of actually making it. Now, music-wise, I've always, like I said, always been into music. I do have a track on YouTube. I'm not going to show it to you because it's very cringy and it's not very well. I recorded on my computer and it in the garage on a hot day. Did it for 2 days. Put some crappy autotune on there that sounds horrible. I did not discover BandLab until a couple of days after, sadly, which would have helped me out a lot because I could actually do better that way.
Gotcha.
But I'm getting a microphone, an actual studio microphone soon, so I'm excited for that to test that out quality-wise. It's gonna be pure hell getting it set up and asking, "Do you hear me? Do you hear me?" But it'll be fun. But and it's a Juice WRLD beat I found off of YouTube because I was too lazy to make a whole entire new beat around some, because I already had some vocals already ready, written. Me and my friend, who was a girl who was found on Discord, sang the second hook, which was so soft you could barely even hear her, sadly. But she was great for what it was. But it's got a lot of views on YouTube. It's got around 118 views on YouTube, so that's all right. My second one was my Rage track, which I made, which I also did rap on, which I might give you a taste of the instrumental in the background. Not too loud, just a little instrumental of the beat in the background. I forgot the bars to it. It's on my SoundCloud. Y'all can find it on my profile, my link on my beacons. But like, so it's like that with that. Yeah. I've always been into music, making it, but like producing it after, for like, that's what I want to do. Every time I want to wake up, I want to make music. Around that time, I made those 2 beats.
Gotcha.
I'll
Now, okay, so now you were
start playing
saying
that
at the
beat in the
beginning
background.
that, when you did your first one, it took about 3 hours to
Yeah,
make. You did your second one and you cut it around in half.
three
So for
hours
you
with
now
winding.
that you've been,
Yeah,
making them a lot,
yeah, 3 hours.
like how long does it usually take on average to be able to
Oh,
make a beat for you?
nowadays,
Yeah,
nowadays me,
nowadays. Yeah.
anywhere from, it depends on the style of music. Like with me, I've listened to a lot of West Coast, Dr. Dre, like dark, that kind of music, boom
Hmm.
bap stuff, like old school stuff. Anywhere from 30 minutes at least, 20 to 30
Okay.
minutes, because it's easy to do. Because if I don't have to make the sample, like if I have like a loop I've already had or found
Yeah.
or something, just making the drum beats, because I'm better at making drums, because I used to have a drum set, a little one of those little kid
Hmm.
ones, like a long time ago. Then I've got the major ones, but I've always played around with the drums there, so I'm good at drums. But melody wise, I always got music stuck in my head. So with that, if I have a melody stuck in my head, I could get that down in about 5 minutes after I find the right sound, like just like that. Just put out,
Wow.
like for the instance, the one I'm playing
Yeah.
now, this took me about 20 minutes tops. Now I will say the hi-hat pattern was not mine. I did not do the hi-hats
Okay.
or the 808 pattern. That was done by my buddy Stunted Band from Discord. I was having some major anxiety with this one because I wanted to get it posted as ASAP. Because
Yeah.
the melody, once I heard the melody, I was like, okay. And then I added the kicks and the claps. And
Yeah.
I gave him the hi-hats and the 808 I wanted him to use and the BPM and all that, which as you can see, it's at 140 BPM for the whole project. This was actually at 147 BPM in E minor. So that was different. I've never done that before, but I always do stuff like that where I record the melody in a totally different BPM, or if I
Mm.
find a different BPM of a melody, I totally make it something different, or I just pitch it down to the right one. But on average now, for any other beat besides a West Coast, which usually takes me about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, but any other beat, a couple of days at least. If it's something I'm not really, it depends on this. It depends on if I like the style of beat that they want, or if I'm in the
Yeah.
mood for it. If I'm in the mood for a DaBaby beat, oh, that can go easily because I have a DaBaby kit on standby for real. Like
Got it.
I have his 808s
Yeah.
packed, loaded. All I gotta do is just go to my Flex, open up a flute or a harpsichord,
Yeah.
and just put it in some triplets, and then add some triplet hi hats and a little Migo snare, and that's done. And add them
Cool.
808s, and that's
Yeah.
all I gotta do. Make it sound kind of fluty, something like that, and then those take me 20 minutes, something like that. So
Cool.
I usually try to make a beat every day, at least multiple ones. Usually, but on this for right now, I have so many files going right now. Like I have over 1,000 or probably even 100 different melodies waiting to be made a beat around. Like some of them date back from the beginning of this month. Like this melody, I haven't even touched this sound right here. But see this right here, like I said, this could be a DaBaby beat, but then again, I'm not feeling that beat.
Mm.
See, I got that
Hmm.
one
Yeah.
from a friend. Like I get a lot of loops from friends, so I wasn't feeling that one. So I couldn't do anything with that, but I keep it there just in case I do want to make something out of that. I've already titled it Lazy Bones because too lazy to mess around with it, and it just
For sure.
So it's
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So to answer your question, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour or two at the most.
Gotcha. Okay. So then,
Or
okay, so
yeah,
then let's change gears a little bit,
yeah.
and let's think a little bit more cerebrally.
I'll play our track.
So for you, in your mind, what is it that makes a good producer as opposed to a bad one?
Okay, a producer, not a beat, right? We're talking about a producer. Like, what makes a good producer?
Exactly.
I actually can answer that one. That's a good question, but I can actually answer that one easily.
Okay.
Someone who actually cares about the art of making the music. Someone who actually puts in their all, puts everything they got into making just a sound or a track.
Yeah.
Like, see, with me, I'm working for free right now because I can always make music. Always. Like, when I start charging, I can make beats by the ton. Like, I got shit by the ton, honestly. Like, I could put out 20 songs if I had if I paid for it, and people could start listening to it, and I could charge each one. But for now, I do it for free because I'm just doing it because I love making music, and I just want people to hear it for a change instead of having because once you add on that price, people are like, oh, you gotta pay that much, you gotta pay to hear. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, well,
For
that's
sure.
how the world works, though. See,
Yep.
It runs on cash. Cash, it's cream. Cash rules everything around me.
Yeah.
It don't work like that for me. In my mind, see, I'm into money. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Nobody, that would be a lie if I said I wasn't. But when it comes to music, I can't put a price on that because it's like putting a price on like who you love and all that. It's like, see, I love music.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to marry it. I mean, no, but like I love music to an extent where I want to work on it. Like I'll give it my all and I'll give it away for free because that's how much I care about it and care about the people who want to hear it. See, I would never charge. If I did start charging, it'll probably be only $100 or $50 even.
Yeah.
I'm not those
For sure.
types to charge $1,000 for 2 beats. I'm like, bruh, and they're probably not even that good. They're probably saying like show you the good part, and then the rest is horrible.
Yeah.
Probably sounds like 50,000 different air horns and 50,000 different screams, and then they can't even hear the melody.
Yeah.
It's like so. See, and I just spent $1,000 on 2 crappy songs that I don't want no more. It's like, but I have to have it on my hands because he took off the tag and now it's mine and I own it and I can't give it back because that would basically kind of be like copyright and stealing. So I couldn't do that. So for a good what makes a good producer opposed to a bad one? Somebody who has heart into what they actually believe in, like when it comes to music, like somebody puts God in their eyes, who's not all Hollywood's like, oh no. Like if somebody like wants to use their melody, if you're willing to let them, or just in general, just wants, just wanting to be around more, like be social with the people who love your stuff. That's what makes a good producer. Like
for sure.
I will be honest with you. Maybe a couple years ago, I probably was a bad producer because I probably stole a couple of like melodies from others without asking. But at that time, I didn't know how to make my own that well. Like I wasn't that matured or educated when it comes to the art of music.
Right.
Now with a couple of friends, like with you and the squad, I've gotten better. We've already got like 3 hits down.
Basically,
one on the way.
No, exactly.
Got one on the way.
Okay, so then, in regards, right, exactly, yeah. So now, in regards to the producer side, and let's keep on that idea of the producer as a whole, not just on a beat. So, what do you think is the most difficult part about being a producer? Like, what would you say is the most consistently challenging, or just that there's a wall that's going to get built up in your way? What would that be for you?
All right, are you talking about for me or for anybody who wants to be a producer? Because there's a difference.
For you individually, like, what do you think is the biggest challenges?
Well, for me, is basically for just being a producer is having the time to balance my daily life with side music and gaming and art and producing, and not much of a challenge, but it's more of like not a barrier, it's just more of like I'm gonna try to say something like an obstacle, but like somewhere I can always overcome it, but something like it takes me a little longer to get to that point. But not really a problem. But the biggest problem for me is, as a producer, being able to actually pressure. That's basically my biggest thing. I hate pressure. Like so many times right now, I would probably buckle. I'll probably fall. I'll be like, hell no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like, and that's the bad thing about it is, see, that's why I try to make beats beforehand. I listen to an artist. Like, if I want to make song with an artist in the future, I always have a bunch of beats in their styles ahead of time, just in case they want to work with me in the near future. And if they want something different, I can do it. But if they give me like a time, I gotta have this song out by like mid-June. I'm like, and it's like June the 1st. I gotta do it in 30 days, like 20 days or 15 days. I could not do that. Like, I take things solo at my own, at my own pace. So it's like, so thankfully, which you have not done that. I think you only might have done that one time with the All the Way track. You wanted me to add the vocals on there, or my tag.
The tag,
I did not have it beforehand. So yeah, that was probably the only challenge for me at that point. But other than that, okay. I mean, hey, as you can hear, it's out now, isn't it?
Well, and we still got to get that out. We still have to get the final one released. But as soon as I have, as soon as I get my next studio session, I'll get that one finished up. Now,
they could wrap up that one.
Oh well, yeah. And then when you get the next one made. Because I do have that person solved, but when we do the remix, then I'm gonna do that one with her. So that would be a lot of fun.
sick.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because that new heavy beat you're working on that we'll do for
That,
basically it'll be like, you know,
this
like
one right here.
all the way to or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah, like,
it'll be really
or made it or at the top or something like that. Like this
right.
beat you're talking
Yep.
about?
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
got my
now
tag on that
in
one too.
regards to other people, not you as the producer, but other producers, who's somebody that
Yeah.
you would really love to be able to collab with?
Oh, I can answer that one. Like, okay, so hold on. So just as me as a producer, like, I want to collab with. So are you talking about artist-wise, collab with an artist or another producer?
Another producer.
I'm gonna have to go with Dr. Dre or Jay Dilla, or
Nice.
if we're thinking real time stuff, like modern times, probably Jetson Made, Pooh Beats, and everybody's gonna hate this, but I do not give a damn. And it's an artist who got a lot of backlash, a producer got a lot of backlash for a couple stuff, but it's the guy who made the who makes Blueface's beats, FB.
Oh, okay.
He got a lot of backlash for like showing guns, like, and like, you know, like not near school, but like he was being a stupid thug. But them, Latiana, anybody from the West Coast, basically. But if I had to pick one person out of all, I would have to go with Dr. Dre or Jay Dilla.
Nice.
I mean, honestly,
Very cool.
I mean, come on,
Okay,
man.
so now I know that you have worked with some artists, but I mean, is there anybody on the artist side then? Like, oh man, I would love to hear a beat linked up with, you know, who would that be for you?
Dr. Dre, for sure,
Dr. Dre,
of course.
okay.
Eminem,
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg. But if we're talking actual, like, if we're being realistic here, I would actually, honestly, have to go with either what's his name, Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I sent him some stuff and he's noticed it, but he hadn't messaged me back. But definitely, I would have, if I had the chance to at the time, I would have wanted to work with JD Youngin. RP, he passed away, got shot in Florida, and Juice WRLD, of course. I would have worked with him. We were planning on it. Me and Internet Money were planning on it, making a track which is now known as a song by Juice WRLD. It's one of his older songs. It's the Blood on My Jeans one. I actually made the melody for it and then gave it to the real producer who I forgot now.
Yeah.
He changed it up. But artist-wise, if I had to pick one, I actually will tell you this one, and I'll give you why. I want to work with so bad. I really want to work with Joyner Lucas because he's a very humble person when it comes to like when he gets the chance. Like now he can't stay at home at the couch on his phone all day answering every fan mail because that he wouldn't be able to eat, he wouldn't be able to take a sleep, go to the bathroom. It would be so many people to talk to, he couldn't do it in time and make the music he does and show up to the events, meetings, or whatever he has to do.
Yeah.
But if I had the chance to work with anybody, it would be either Joyner Lucas or Lil Pump, because I've always liked Lil Pump's style. Like he's just having a blast with his stuff. Like, come on, quit giving him hate. The Spanish community loves him. The Spanish community loves him in 6ix9ine. So let's go. That's another artist, 6ix9ine. Honestly, Blueface. Honestly, because I don't even give a crap of what they did. That's not what I care about. I just care about their music taste. Jeez.
Music, right? For sure. Yeah.
On them. So yeah, as long as they don't talk about snitching and all that on my beats.
No, for sure. Okay, so then let's go a little bit more. Let's change process here. Let's go a little bit more internal. So when you are getting ready to make a beat,
yes,
what is your internal process? What are your steps that you take when you are like, you know, doesn't matter what type of beat it is that you're making, but you've got that inspiration and now you're
like, all right, well, the very first thing I do is let me like role play for a couple of seconds real quick. First thing I do, you know, it's like when I get to the chance, like after I do my morning stuff, like at usually around 3 or past, I start making my music. I get my laptop, open it up, and I always have FL Studio. I always have it like that open. Already everything down there. All I do at night, close up my laptop or turn it off, and put it up, and it's automatically there. And I got to sign in, and everything's good and Gucci. So what I usually do is, after I save it, of course, first thing I automatically do is pray that I can actually make something manageable and listenable. I talk to my friends and all that, tell them what I'm about to do. tell them what I've been up to, and then when I get to the beat itself, the very first, my internal process is like, okay, I'm gonna make something this style. Like I have a couple of melodies that I've already made. One of them I found on Looperman, which I do tend to use because sometimes I forget my own Looperman account name because I used to have so many back then because they kept getting banned because they were usually longer than this, or I kind of spammed at so many times, made like 20 in that same hour. So it's like I think that's like a thing you gotta do it like slowly. So it's like I was like, oh, damn. So I had like 50 of them, so I just downloaded some of my own old ones because I don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
But like for instance, making a beat, I get my melody done. I first, if I ever need a new melody, open up my main sound, like my piano, put down my piano track. Then I go with my 808s next. Or usually I go with I just mess around with the drum sounds just to figure out what sounds I want to use. Because I gather up all my different percussion, my drum sounds, and put them on the side here, which I have now, probably have over 5,000 different sounds over here, which I just all I gotta do now, click on the beginning and hold down this button. And then if I hear something, I'll go, okay, I want that. And then I click it, like this one. Actually, yeah, this one. Drag it over to here, and there you go. And now all I gotta do next is if I want to pitch it down some like this. And then when I record over a beat like this one, and then just play a tune out that I think would go well with it. And then I just record it. I do, however, on the hi-hats, I will go to my piano roll and click them in, and for like the pitching down, like for the hi-hat layers, like I did this one where it goes, I do that only if I need it. But other than that, and then boom, a beat is done. Usually it takes me a longer time to find the sound because I have them all here, just I gotta find the sound. Like for this one, I could easily do something like this. Something like that easily. Just and you saw how fast that was, right? Like, and see, I always have for my hi-hat rolls. Makes it simple for me. Just hold it down as long as I need to. Yeah. Or I use this one because it's like a triple effect. So, and then boom, a beat is done, and then all I gotta do now is when I get done with a beat, like for real, I just highlight these, for instance. I just click open the parts. I have it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If you see some of my stuff, like I've only named on a couple of them because I'm working on this one currently, my little baby one. That's me and Midnight and my tag. And then I added the bells for this one. See, I added bells for speech. Usually if I did not do that kind of stuff, it would look something more like pattern 1 and pattern 2. And so I got to go back and find out what goes with what, like what sound is pattern 1 for? What is this one for? I never name my stuff, only the melodies, which are sometimes like that, just one word. Or if I'm lazy that day and can't think of a dang word, I just call it untitled, and I have over 200 of these named. Track 1, number untitled, 2, number 200. And I'm like, and sometimes I can recognize the sound automatically just by this thing right here, like the way it looks. A lot of these are looping, but see, that's the hardest thing for me is doing that kind of a thing. It's like without naming it like that. For instance, this one. I know this one. This is one of my, excuse me. It's a lot slower. So this is my violin track, I think. It's got some violins in it, but it's my drill track. This one up here is my triple effect with the 808, my interlead chopper when I'm making actually for you. It's going to sound lit. So there's that. See, I can automatically tell. So it's like, then I just highlight the ones I need to be done and then just go over to my file over down here and then export whatever I highlight into MPC format. Give it a name and everything, and keep it there. If they're done with it, like once they get it and they put it out, then I'll just go like this. Like then I'll just do this. Get rid of it. Or I'll delete it and then I keep it in my files as the melody because I'll keep every file. My thing is a mess. It needs to be organized. As you can see, I got sounds, instrument sounds, loops, freaking kits, other sounds in downloads, music, pictures, videos. I even have one clear out. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I have one clear out in my freaking favorites folder. Like, look, I have them, and that's part of my computer. So it's like, usually on here, all I have are like my gaming stuff, like my gaming pages I need to save. Oh, there's some E40 stuff right there. I don't know why I have E40 up in there.
Gotcha.
So stuff
Okay.
like that. Like,
Okay.
I just basically do that, and then if I need a new sound, like if I can't think of a melody, I just go to Loopman or I ask my buddies, or just check my email, because lately I've been getting 5, 6 emails a day with just random people sending me their spam things of emails, which I don't even have them followed on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't even sign up for all that stuff. Like if they need me to sign up to get their pack, I'm like, okay, nope, I'll just go to Loopman because it's free and I can just download it.
Right.
And then I'll DM the person on Instagram of, hey, I use your melody. Here's what it sounds like. If it's trash, I'll take it down. But if it's not, I don't care. I'm keeping it. And then usually if it is trash, though, if they don't like it, I'll still keep it for myself, but I won't post it because I'm not a monster. I will respect their privacy.
Yeah.
But I will keep it. Like, I'll still have it in case I change your mind. Just giving them
exactly right. Or you've just got another loop now to be able to utilize, right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And so that's basically how my internal processing of making a beat is. Starting with the melody, then if I need a counter melody, then I'll add that later. I don't ever mix my stuff. I try to have it already mixed, like the instrument sound mixed, but for my 808 sounds, the only like farthest I'll go for that is opening up, like for instance, opening up a hi-hat pattern like this, and then I'll just mess around with like this stuff, like the velocity, the pitch, and then the triple effects when I do it, something like I just do this, where it triples it up, where it's like a hi-hat roll, and then I'll go down here and just go under the pitch sound. So just to make it sound the hi-hats. That's the only mixing I'll ever do. I do have a few in my mixer over here, like under the main one. I have Edison, new tone, and new time. And sometimes you'll find a growth beat here and there, but for mixing wise, I usually either send it to my friends or don't even add one, period, because I don't really need one.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
I mean, it's not really needed that much, because I mean, everything I make is straight fire. I try to make it perfect so where I won't need to make any like to pitch it, fix it right, because it's gonna automatically sound boss. You feel me?
Gonna be fire, yeah.
You see, that one makes a great producer is somebody who can make a song without having to go back and redo that mistake. That's why it takes me a little longer, though. That's why it does take me a little longer. I will point that out. But it's because I take my time with it when it comes to what I'm doing.
Okay, so then now this is so the next question that we have coming up is one that I had thought of just because I've started seeing you do it more now recently, where you're teaming up and collabing with other producers. But would you say, as a producer, do you feel like it's easier or better to work as a team with other producers when you're trying to be able to make beats, or is it usually more of a solo type of?
That's a good question. Process? I love these questions. You got some better questions than I did. Okay, well, with me and my ADHD, my autism, it goes hand in hand. Like, I can have two different ways of seeing that. Sometimes if the team wants to be a team, like it works really good if all the people in that team actually want to be a part of that team and want to work together. Then it works amazing. Like, and for me though, personally, for me, if we're in a team, it's whatever they do for that part, that beat or whatever. One less thing I have to do. One less thing I don't gotta do. So it's like that way it helps me instead of having to work harder, work extra, taking longer, being on time and all that. Like if they got a melody down, all I gotta do is add the thing that they want me to, and that's about it. But for me, working solo, it has its perks. Like being solo artist, like making it on solo, I get to do it the way I want to instead of having them do it a specific way and me not being able to fix this exact one or being able to change the sound that they used. Or I could actually be able to go through all my stuff that I want to do and basically make a track that I think would sound dope. You feel me?
For sure, absolutely.
So to answer that question, yes and no. Like when it comes to yes, as a group, if they want to be a part of this collab as a group and actually want to, like being mature about it, like not just like being like it's like, oh, this is sad, this is bad because they don't feel like they're doing enough, or they feel like they got such a little part. Me, if I got a little part, like just making just one sound effect or just a percussion, I'd be happy with that because people actually want me to be a part of that, and that's what makes a great team. Is somebody who works with you and who is very I'm trying to think of a word, is very agreeable and like it's something a police term used a lot. Cooperative. That's the word.
Yeah.
Somebody who's very cooperative with you makes a great team.
Yeah.
But also being solo makes it good as well because I can take a little bit slower.
Yes.
Instead of having to work with a bunch of people and getting a little bit of like my PTSD kicking in. It's like, okay, I got to do this. It's like, yeah, that don't.
Right.
Like if you're trying to do that, don't count on it because I probably wouldn't do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, that definitely makes sense. Okay. So then let's, so now for you as a producer, with the amount of time that you've been, putting into it and with, the experiences and all of the information that you've learned up to this point, what would be your advice to other producers, either getting into the game or that have been doing it for a little while? What would you say to them?
Okay. For the people who are just getting into it, it's not as hard as it looks. Like, for instance, if you're using plugins that you don't understand like this, I don't mess around with any of this stuff. This is added on stuff it works. Like, it actually is stuff you can actually tune.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to that because I don't really need to unless it's a sound that I really think will go well with it and I need to cut off some like sound part of it, like the little filter like this.
Yeah.
If I want to cut off that, make it a little bit high pitched, then I'll mess around with it. But other than that, you just need to find the sound you want. Like, you don't need to mess around with. See, all I would do for this, pitch it up and cut that out and just remove that like that. It's not as easy, it's not as hard as it looks, but it's not as easy as you might think it might be. Because there might be some challenges. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not cakewalk. It's not all going to be rainbows and sunshines and ponies. It's going to have some brimstone and fury, but it'll be all right and you can do it. Just do what you think sounds good. Don't do it what other people think it'll sound good.
Yeah.
Do what you think would be perfect for it. Like, it's not for anyone else. It's for you, really. Yeah. But you want other people to hear what you've made. That way, do it the way you want it to sound, not what I would want it to sound, because everybody has an opinion. It matters to an extent. Like, you can listen to his opinions and you can like agree with them, or you can disagree, but you don't have to call them out for like saying, "Oh, that's horrible opinion. You shouldn't. Why are you thinking like that?"
Right.
They're given right, but you don't have to take it in seriously. Now, for the good feedback, but for bad feedback, if you also agree with that feedback that's bad, then you can take it in if you want to. Like, you don't have to. Like, just the other day, somebody thought my 808s were horrible on this one track. And to be honest with you, I could have done a little bit better, but I chose not to because it felt right for me at that time. And it still does on some parts. But for people who've been in the game a little bit long, like a little bit, like, like who have been in there for like maybe a couple months, weeks, days, years even, I just say keep doing what you're doing. And if you've already got if you're getting as much stuff as I'm getting, as many files as I'm getting, you're doing something right. If people are coming to you and wanting to work with you and actually paying, like, putting up with all the different calls, all the different texts that I'm giving you, people like that are putting up with that, then you know that you've actually got something good going on. And you don't want to do it. Just keep doing that. Just keep spamming them, keep spamming up their emails and all that. Right? And they'll tell you, it's like, yo, you're being too much. Like, hey, I got another track for you. Then they'll like, oh, let's hear it then. You feel me? So it's like, good things to come to those who wait. I've waited a long time. I've had a lot of past trauma, and so I'm just ready to make stuff.
Put it out there. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so now for you as the individual producer, what are your favorite type of beats to be able to make? Either just in general or for artists, or like what is your, like, if you're just sitting down and you're like, oh man, I cannot wait to make this beat today, what would that be?
I can easily tell you. I've actually been wanting to make a beat in the style of Helluva Made It. I don't know if y'all know who that producer is. He's a lot of Detroit stuff. He's got this funky, it's kind of like, there's a Babytron beat that he did called King of the Galaxy where it goes down, 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 and it's got this like this bow, like a moogie bass with this bum, 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 like these little Michael Jackson orchestra hits with that, and it's got this bong. And then another one was like where it goes and it's like a West Coast stuff. He's like a West Coast, the Baby, Lil Baby, and trap beats are my favorite. And on occasions lo-fi. But if you want me to make a drill beat, I'm gonna have to pass on that. I've tried to make it. It's just not. I have a drill kit ready. I have drill kit sounds. I have drill melodies. Yeah. But it might take me a little longer because I'm not that. I don't know. It's too slow for me. I like fast stuff. I like stuff that has plenty of 808s that basically blow your roof through the. Basically, get in a car that's not a drop top, and then 2 days later you have a drop top car, and you didn't even ask for a drop top car. That kind of
Nice.
Like,
Okay.
Like, can I give you an example right quickly, just real quick?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I have an 808 that I actually found that I've been looking for. It's in a song called Maserati, which is my favorite song by YNW Melly and Fubio. And it's the thing I like Florida music too, by the way. But the reason why I love this song is the 808. An 808 to me makes the track what it is. Like, it makes the whole thing because it's the extra, you know what I mean? It's like the extra proof. And this is the 808. It's called Dots. Listen to this. Listen to how heavy this is. And when it goes like with like a dark beat, like listen. You hear that stab? Like, check it. Let me real quick put in that one beat that we actually did together because it actually goes well with this one. Listen.
Okay.
Okay, I need to turn down my 808 stump. Okay, let's get this tight. See, and it goes well with this beat, but. Okay, let me get the melody right. There we go. Okay, so see, it kind of adds the extra.
Yeah.
So those kind of beats, like, well, basically anything that has tempo, like that's. I couldn't work with anything slow. I'll tell you that. Like, it has to be fast. It has to be good. Now I do love making the melodies for these kind of beats, like rage, hyperpop, synthy, spacey stuff. I can make those easily because I have a lot of sounds for that. But making the drums for those, it's not an easy task, people.
Okay.
Let me tell you, you gotta find a specific 808. I don't like change, so I have plenty of sounds for it, but I cannot just put it because I don't listen to that much rage. I just listen to music that I think at that moment sounds something I would in the mood for, like this kind of stuff. See, I can do that easily, but my favorite overall, believe it or not, is called Nintendo Quarter. And what that is, it's 8-bit, basically. Simple as that, 8-bit. Because it's easy to make and it's catchy. It's like, I grew up in gaming era, so come on, man.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
8-bit, the baby beats, that's a huge thing for me because they're heavy, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Any beat, really. Anything except country and drill. That's
gotcha.
I mean, that's what I make. Anything besides that.
All right, gotcha. Okay, so now let's say that you're in the...
Hold up, real quick. I'm always open to new ones, and if people want me to make a drill, I will tell them I can try my best, but it might not be something I'm interested in, or probably might do my best at because it's, like I said, that's something I'm interested in, but I'm down to try it if they have some help for it, on it. You know what I mean? But like, I'm always open to try anything new, any new genres people have. I would try it. I have to listen to the style first, but I'll definitely try it out and be open to loving it and opening it. Cause I want to help out people. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
Yeah. While you're talking, I'll show you that 808 I played earlier.
Okay.
And the original song. This is the original song by YNW Melly. You hear how heavy that grungy 808 is?
Yeah.
Imagine if you had speakers the size of King Kong up in the air. And it just goes, and I get that feeling like that's the music I'm into making, because anything with the heavy, grungy, fire 808, I'm in. It's got to have a good 808 or I'm not making a beat in that style. Like, that's the exact kind of beat I love making because it's so fun to do because, you know, I can just be a boss with this stuff.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's so cool. I really like that.
And I'm glad to say I finally found that 808 after months and months of searching.
Yeah.
It's not tuned right, but there you go. There you have it, folks. Now, sorry for interrupting. My ADHD.
No, you're good.
I've already taken my ADHD medicine. Don't worry. This is just me being happy that I've actually had my first interview.
Right? These 808s are important, and you've got a lot of them to go through. So I totally get it.
That's what makes my beats technically. Like, I love my 808s because I want people to feel the energy and feel it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want them to. I don't want them to hear. I want them to feel it through their,
Feel it.
up from the balls, up to their head, up to their ears. I want the car to feel it. I want the whole.
Right.
I want the whole street to feel it. That's
Totally.
the kind of stuff I'm
Yeah.
going for. That's why I want to call.
Absolutely. No, I like that.
That's why I want to hear my music being played. I've only heard it one time that was not me or anybody that I know. It was random. It was a random day. I was at Walmart and I heard somebody like work on their break. We had one of those Subway little things inside the WalMarts, and so we was eating there. I heard somebody just listening to music, and they didn't have headphones in, but it wasn't so loud that it would disturb other people. But I could hear enough, and it was one of my beats, and it was actually a beat that and I went up to him and I said, "Did you get that off the BeatStars?" I was like, "Yeah, by this Kamikaze dude." I'm like, then I showed him my phone, and he was actually like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Wow.
Like, that is sick. That is the very first time I ever felt it. And I felt that was pretty cool because, I mean, come on. In a Walmart, even. That's ding me on the radio almost. If you hear it at Walmart, it's on the radio, basically. So,
that's
with
cool.
that in hand, that's the kind of feel I want people to like it. And he liked it, and he actually rapped on it, which I actually, later on after this interview, I'll probably send that track to you so you can hear it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe song. But yeah.
Okay, so now let's say that we're okay. So let's keep focusing on your creative process here.
I'm sorry, actually, I'm going everywhere with it.
No. I mean, no, I love everything you were just talking about, especially you made me think of some other like additional stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, let me ask him about that and come back to it.
Please,
so now when you're in your creative process, and let's say that you are you're working on a beat, and then you just kind of either get stuck at like, oh, I don't know what drum I want to put in, or I don't know what like
right when you get right in the middle. Okay, I know what you mean. So when I'm in the middle of my creative juices are going, everything's going, and I run into a little problem like I can't find a specific sound, then I'll get a little bit pissy, and then I'll be a little bit like, if somebody wants to call me up, I'll answer it, but I'll probably be more paying attention to this, what I'm working on, and going, okay, what fucking 808 do I can't come to my house, but in my mind I'm going, what 808 do I need? It's like I have 130 808s I could choose from right now probably, and I can't find a specific 808. So what I would do then is I would substitute it for like a bass sound, or I would just send it out to my friends who know how to make music. And then come to find out when they send it back to me, it's the first 808 I used that I said, this sounds terrible. Like, don't even play this on anything. And it's the 808 that they used, but they made it fire sounding. And they did the same stuff I did. It's just they tempoed it right. I'm bad with tempo. Like, for instance, whenever I'm making music, I never add that little click, click, click. I don't add that because it's another sound that I did not add, and it drives me nuts. Like, what sound is that? And like, why is it playing? Even though it's for tempo, I'm very off tempo on my beats. You can tell by this one. Yeah, everything's put together. Sounds like this is the song I was telling you about, by the way. That's the beat I heard at Walmart. I was like, I recognize this beat, and I was like, and then I saw that it was bought by him. I'm like, and he sent this back with the bars, and then the 808s, I found them. I had trouble with this one because that second, dun, 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 I had trouble finding out a good sense of that because I already had the with the bubbles and then that pattern down, all the rest. I just used counter melody. I couldn't think of it for the life of me. I was like, okay, all right. And then I kept going, and then I finally found it after about the next day. I was like, took me way longer than I should have had it. But I did it, and I still ran through problems with a little bit of like cuts, like this sounds bad, but I kept it because I didn't want to have to work on it more. That's the thing. If I run into a problem on a beat, I'll probably stop making that beat and just work on a new thing that I can do, because I like to keep a beat that I can actually know how to make easily well, and I want to do that. Like, see, if I have that's the problem with half of these melodies. I have melodies I can't figure out a good drum sound to do, and I got to keep looking. Like, yeah, for sure. Some of the sounds I have for these sound good, but then again, at the same time, they don't sound as good as I could do. I know I could have a good one. I just got to keep finding the kits. Yeah. Kits, and that's what makes a melody, and why are these connected? Gotcha. Okay. All right. So now, so when you are now, and I know we kind of already touched on it a little bit, just in regards to,
when you are working on your process and everything, and some of the harder parts that go along with it. But like for you, so like I know when you were interviewing me, you had asked me like, oh, what is the most frustrating part about the music stuff? And what I talked about was kind of like, oh, like it's actually something you wouldn't think. It's the
Yeah.
coordination. It's all of the planning to get everything together.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say for you is like the most frustrating part? Like if there's anything that just always is like, you always have to stop my flow. Like what would that be for you?
When my FL Studio Purity crashes, and I have to go back and revert to last backup. Thankfully, it does back it up like I should change it to every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. But I have a backup, I like to think of it as my panic, it's like a panic processor. It's like, okay, it's getting to this point. I need to back it up again, and then it will back it up. But the thing, besides that, like in general ways, the thing that kind of like messes with me and like frustrates me most is people like when I'm in the creative process, I don't like to eat. I don't like to talk to people that much. Like then again, I always do like to talk to people because of my ADHD. I could talk to anybody. I could talk a dead horse's ear off, no cap.
Right.
But like with that being said, though, it's like when I'm very into a beat or making something, I'm not antisocial. But it's like if, for instance, family, anything in the real world, like real life, like out here, and my thing wants to draw me away from. Like needs me to like pick up the trash or do something like this, draws me away from it, then I get kind of like I'm working on something good. No, like I'll do it later. Then I forget about it, and then consequences happen. Then I don't get to do it the next day, which RP to that. But thankfully, I'll do it now. Also, this is what my backups are like. See, auto-saved at 116 hours and 52 minutes. It saves it. See all these right here, and it goes to a certain point, like 17 hours, like right now, I forget which this is this file right here, basically. So, and yeah, there you go, basically that. So it's like, I just basically, I don't have that many problems, honestly. Like I just can make music easily and just do it,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so then let's take a look at the other side of that coin. What would you say is the most? What would you say is the most rewarding part of being a producer? What would you say is the most like you get the most accomplishment out of?
Well, the biggest there's actually that kind of runs two ways. The most rewarding thing about making, or just the most rewarding thing about being a producer, or about making a beat.
We'll go both.
That actually spurred off three parts to that question. There's the about rewarding thing about making a beat, the rewarding thing about being a producer, and my biggest accomplishment. We'll start off the first thing. The most rewarding thing about being a producer is having the recognition and people taking me actually serious. Like when I first started, and I changed and I had back then, I just went by Prod by William, and people weren't taking me serious because I didn't have anything posted that much. I just DM'd them through Discord, Instagram, and then send them an audio clip. People weren't messing with that much because I only had like 3 followers at that time. All was on Discord, Twitter. I had the biggest thing on like. I'm actually proud about my Twitter account right now. I don't know why they changed it from a birdie to an X. Literally, this is their new logo. Is that X? That is not a bird Twitter. And then they went and screwed it up by Elon Musk buying it and making me pay for it. But the biggest accomplishment that kind of runs through waves is on here. I have 900 and so followers. I have 405 on here, and this was gathered in like a good amount of time. Like. I have everything on here. Like joined January 2022. In that era, 405 people followed me, and I followed 4,600. Oh, that's creepy. I don't like that. Let me follow somebody real quick. I'm very spiritual, so I don't mess with that number. You saw that, right?
Not specific. I think I kind of went way too fast. But.
Said 4,666. It was 4,666. I don't like that. So I need to follow some random person right quick. Bro, 2,000 followers, bro. Okay, let me just follow this random dude. I don't know who this is. COD4. There you go. All right, now I'm okay. But for my biggest accomplishment, okay, that's better. Sheesh. Scared me for a second there. But I forgot to set that. Yo Mama's house. That's where I'm from. I'm from Yo Mama's house. But you can tell I mainly use this as my art page for my Twitter, because you can tell I make logos. I make beats. So hit me up here. So that's the thing I did. So, but my biggest accomplishment, or excuse me, let's go in order. For my biggest rewarding thing as a producer is, like I said, getting recognition and being taken seriously and not as a white, like as a joke, because I'm that one white kid from the middle of the backwoods country, not even in Louisville, not even the most popular thing, just in a nice suburb area, but in the middle of the backwoods, almost from Kentucky, who has a shit ton of jewelry that's real stuff. I don't buy down to test because I'm not gonna prove something. If you go to that point of doubting me, like if I was a black man and had this much jewelry, you'd believe it's real, straight up. But since I'm a white kid, nobody believes that. They think it's always got to be automatically fake because, you know, I can't trust people, which I understand that. But if I have this much on at a time and I'm making music and people say it's actually good, why don't you put those two together that, yes, it could possibly be real, and take the signs that it's not fake, because the biggest thing is you'll turn your neck green. Yes, I have everything hauled out. Yes, it's all smaller, but I don't care. That's how I roll. I don't want to have a broken neck. I'm already short in stature as it is. I don't want to look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or friggin' Sloth from the Goonies. I'm not going to look like that. I'm not T-Pain. I don't buy a big-ass chain which says big-ass chain that weighs 10 pounds. You ain't finna find me with that. The biggest thing you probably ever find me wearing is this bitch right here. This shirt.
The shark. Yeah.
And it fits in your hand. Like, this is how big it is. This is real time, people. Look at that. Or this watch, but that's not on my neck. But I will say I might have something a little bigger coming soon, either tomorrow, probably in the third, so Thursday and so on. The 3rd to the 11th of this month, I'll be getting, I'm not going to lie to you, I'll actually have, once I get all this stuff, including all y'all's chains, I'll have it at the point, I'll wear it all, including Rose, I'll have 20 different chains. And I just bought a couple. 20. Nice. And I think I just bought another one, so at least 23. Yeah, and they're real. I bought them from Solitaire Jewels, which is in North Carolina. You probably heard of them. Very nice. They're not as expensive as Iceboxes, which is from this watch, but it's affordable for me. I'm not gonna be telling you how much I'm making a month, because I mean that's kind of federal to ask. It's like, how much you making a month, huh? I'll give you this. Anybody who asks me how much I make a month or how much I make, I'll give this simple answer: enough. I'll make enough. Like, basically, I'll tell them this. I'll basically tell them enough and then some. Maybe a little bit too much, but then some. You know what I mean? It's like, enough to feed my family. That's all you need to know. Why are you asking so many stalkery questions? What you need? You want my bank account? Might as well give you my dick pic as well if you're asking how much I make. It's like, come on, dog. It's like, what you want? Why are you asking something? Like, can you just ask me, is that real? You just simply, just to answer the question, like, if it's real or not, I'll be glad to say, yes, it is. And I'll be glad to tell you where I got it from. So that's the biggest accomplishment, is getting the recognition of people believing me. Yeah. I've been getting that now. But the biggest reward of making a beat is being able to say, I did it. I made something that I could actually listen to anytime I want to. And something that sounds good, like music to my ears. Like, this is how much you can tell I love music. I sleep with earbuds in, those Bluetooth earbuds. I sleep with them in constantly until they die out. The batteries die. And I've had to buy MP3 players upon MP3 players. I just bought me a new 526 micro SD card, one of those little things, 526 gigabyte one. That can hold a lot of music. Because right now, all I have on my thing, I have about 2,000, I think is the most songs you can have, including pictures and all that. And it's only a 32 gigabyte thing. So imagine how many things I could have on a 526. I could have over 400 million songs on this thing. So I should store all my sounds I've had onto there to keep it that way. But I probably won't. Probably have to put my music, because I live, breathe, sleep, and eat music.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, honestly, I'm surprised right now I do not have a musically beat styled chain, like something that has to do with music, which I thought of last night. So I did order me one from Solitaire, solid gold headphone chain. And of course, Snoop Dogg, Death Row Records, Cash Money West. I ordered some of those kind of chains. I was gonna buy me a music note one, but I was like, you know what? I might do a piano instead. But then again, I might just get me the friggin', like I said, I forgot what I said now. I'm sorry. Like the first thing I said, the headphone one. I'm just gonna give me that. It has to do with music. Plus, I love headphones. I mean, sheesh. I go through them by the ton.
Yeah.
I've never had Beats by Dre, so I don't know what that's like. Don't want to because I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it. It's not as good as it sounds. But so the most one thing about that is musically, like making a beat, being able to hear something that I want to enjoy. And then the last thing that you asked about in that three-parter was, what's the most biggest accomplishment? Well, I have to be honest with y'all. Meeting y'all and actually being able, like, having as many people following me as I do. I'm so close to hitting 1,000. I'm about to puke almost in that kind of way because it's like, oh my God, I didn't have that many. But my biggest accomplishment beat-wise, probably being able to work with the people I've worked with. Like, I'm not finna, like, I could name them, but then again, I might get people, like, if anybody who watches it later on say, oh, you didn't work with that, where's the proof? I'm not gonna go back, where's the proof, because I don't save my stuff like that. Once I send it off to them and they like it, and it's like that, it's done. I get rid of it and start the next project because I'm not gonna dwell on it, keep it on there. I'm not gonna post it on there. Like, once I actually get, like, now some of these tracks, I don't think I've gone platinum, but once I actually have a song that I made solely with them, because these, I'm a ghost producer. I sometimes, but with the other artists, because I've been able to talk to some of them, and then I probably forget before they blew up, and I made a little bit of their song. If I do the whole thing and I get like a platinum record, I will definitely post it up on my wall and be flexing it more than I probably flex this stuff. That would be a biggest accomplishment. So I can't really tell you my biggest accomplishment because it hasn't happened yet. But the one I'm most proud of now is having a family, having people who care about me. That's basically my biggest accomplishment there.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Now we're bringing it. Now we're bringing it all the way back around.
Yeah, another big accomplishment right now is my phone being at 51% when it, like, 3 hours ago, it was at like 80%, like 90%. I'm like, bruh, usually my phone dies fast. Thankfully, I don't have it full blast brightness, but I'm surprised that it does. Usually right now it would have been down 27%. I must have been high last night because my phone was at 15% 1 second, and then 3 minutes later I looked at it and it was up to like 30%, and I didn't even have my charger at that point. And it randomly just bounced up to 30% charge. I'm like, bruh, my phone just automatically charged itself. What did I do? I must have been high. So 50 to 30%. That's cool. That's cool. I'm like, and I didn't have battery saver on, nothing. I had full brightness, but beats me. I'll probably never figure that out. Probably just something God did for me.
Yeah, for
sure. Wouldn't even work because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I was probably watching porn at that time. So I don't know what it did. And maybe just boosted maybe my phone enjoyed it. Maybe my phone enjoyed what it saw, so it just boosted up saying, hey, let's watch this for longer.
That's fun.
That's with y'all, but yeah, I consider myself a comedian at times because that can be funny. Not knowing, like, unintentionally. I'll never say anything. Not even unintentionally. See, I never try to say anything to hurt people, and if it slips out my mouth, you'll know it's not like intentionally, because I would never want to hurt someone. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I never kill flies. I capture them and let them outside. Even though I have a fly swatter, and I do tend to swat them if they're pissing me off. But other than that, yeah. So, like, I'm just happy to be here. That's my biggest accomplishment.
I like that.
People don't like that. Well, people, their biggest accomplishment is having $1 million. I'm like, bruh, are you gonna have $1 million when you die? No, you're probably gonna be in the dirt. That $1 million will go to you, and that $1 million you're all so gorgeous, happy about. You know where that goes to? To pay for your funeral, basically. So it just went into the dirt.
Right.
It paid for you being in the dirt. That's a good accomplishment right there. I mean,
cannot take it with you.
Cannot buy everything. Money can't buy happiness. But
that is absolutely true.
But happiness can buy money in a way. Like it can in a way. Like if you're happy enough to want to make something, and then you post it and people want it, you got money for that.
Right.
Because you were happy enough. But money can't buy happiness, but it can buy things that make you happy, which won't keep you happy.
Right.
Everybody who was probably 10, 12, you bought something. It's like, oh, I've always wanted this. I bet you about a month later or a week later, you've forgotten about that, when you're on to the next thing that wanted to make you happy. And where's that other thing? Sitting in your closet collecting dirt and dust. And I know a lot about that because in my closet I have tons of stuff collecting dirt and dust. I haven't even touched this Lego thing over here, and it's collecting dust by, like, look at all that. Look how nasty that glass is. You see how dirty that is? And now look how clean that glass looks. You can see inside. You can see inside the house there. You can't inside that. And see, that's the thing. It made me happy at the time. I thought it was gonna keep me happy. One thing though has happened that made me happy is this thing. You guys and this thing, that's kept me happy. That's kept me happy. Music makes me happy, so that's my biggest compliment. Being able to do what I do when I want to do it.
I like that. I like that. All right, guys. Well, that was all of the questions that I had today for Kamikaze. Guys, it is your boy, RPG Red, Purple, Gold. So if you are just checking in now, definitely I will post this later, but go and take a look at the interview that we just got completed. Myself, RPG, and then one of the producers that I'm working with, Kamikaze Beats the King. So I'm sure that we will probably
let me know who it is next time.
Yep, hit him with that tag. Hit him with the horn, hit him with the tag.
Yeah, you'll know it's Kamikaze when you hear this. Let me get my horn. Also, once you send this out, I'll download it and so we can post it up on our YouTube.
Beautiful.
All right, let's get it.
All right.
That is not a horn, that's a cow. Let me play that again.
There we go.
I don't care. You'll know it's me when you hear that tag. When you hear this, you know it's going to be fire.
Yep, Kamikaze on the track. Absolutely.
Yeah, Kamikaze on the track. Shout out to Cleaner for that vocal there. Pretty sick.
Nice.
Better than my old tag. Oh, I hated my old tag.
Right.
I'm a go Kamikaze. This should go crazy. This just sounded stupid.
Well, I mean, I like the old tag, but I definitely do like the new one better.
No, it sounds a lot more mature. I mean,
it does.
come on.
Yes.
It's not as resonant and not as well known as, for instance, Mustard on the Beat or Pierre, or we got London on the track, but it is well known in the people I talk to. Soon, just wait. We'll be at the top charts. You, me, Cleaner, Ghost on the one track with Roro, and the producer on the credit. It'll be as big as this tag. Basically, it'll be as big as everybody's. Like, it'll be as big as Murder Beats. It'll be as big as Drake. It'll be as big as Dr. Dre. So you feel me? So we'll just wait for us. I bet you in about 10 years from now, or maybe even 5 years from now, we'll have a track that's #1 on the boards. And if it isn't, then my name ain't Kamikaze.
I like that.
Sure.
All right, well, we will end it there, guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in for the interview. Everybody that tapped in, all the questions, all that love and support. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Again, we've got Kamikaze Beats the King. Just an amazing interview. So, guys, when I get that posted, definitely go take a look. And he'll put it on his socials. I will put it out on mine as well. And we already have one with me. We already have one also with Cleaner Beats, another producer that Kamikaze actually did that interview, and he did the interview for me as well. So definitely go and take a look at those two, just so you can be able to get the inside track on all of us as artists and producers. And now you'll be able to kind of have the inside view on Kamikaze as well. So again, guys, thank you so much for tapping in, everybody, and we will see you again soon. Peace out.
Also, everybody, check out RPG's behind the scenes coming soon.
Yep, absolutely. All right, see you guys.
Peace out.